Hey everybody, I'm David,
And I'm Johnny.
and welcome to this week's Google Hangout. So we are speaking with a couple of panelists on today that are joining us from a couple of different parts of the nation to talk about the question, once gay, always gay. So that's the question of the evening. We have one of our panelists, Paris Jones, joining us from Texas. Say hey, Paris.
Hello, everybody.
Come on, Paris, you can give us more than that. You can say more than
How's
hello.
everybody doing? Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here, despite the storms that we're having in Texas.
Right, the weather is very bad there. We hope you stay safe because we've been watching the news and it looks pretty bad out there.
It is. We got lots of water, 27 feet of water in Houston,
I
cars.
well, I have a question. So, my question, hang on.
I think
Oh, we have another
someone.
caller?
Come on.
Well, come on through. Where'd they go?
Mm.
Hang on, 1 second. Give me 1 second. We have another caller trying to join us. Some of our panelists are a little behind today. Tell him I just sent him an invite. So anyway, David and I were asked if you participate in gay activity, does that make you gay? I just sent him an invite. I just sent him an invite.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. We're gonna refocus. We're gonna pause and we're gonna refocus. This is live and
Yes.
this is messing us up. But
So Elliot, we just sent you a invite. So join in the whole conversation on there, on your email.
the beauty of live, right? I'm sorry. Tell us who else we have on the line while we're working this out because we're having some technical difficulties. Hang up from
So,
Elliot.
so I'm gonna hang up, Elliot. I can see you, but I can't hear you. So
Okay.
send something to your Gmail. Open it up there so you can join the whole conversation.
Awesome. Well, this is wonderful live. So now we have Josh joining us. Okay, so we're gonna start over. We're just gonna start this whole thing over. That's what this is the beauty of live. So, David, go ahead. Let's start this over.
So for those of you who do not know who we are, I am David.
And I am Johnny.
And welcome to this week's Google Hangout. We are answering the question today, once gay, always gay? We do have a couple of panelists that are joining us via satellite. Come on, via satellite. We have one person on our panel, Hardy Abbott, is on the line. Say hello to all of our viewers, Hardy.
Greetings and salutations to all of the viewers out there, and special shout out to all the Hardy boys and Hardy girls.
All right. Well, hello, Hardy. And also, next we have Mr. Benton. I see Mr. Benton on here now.
London Benton, I call him Joshua Stovall. Say hello to you. Have to
Hey,
speak, Josh.
hey everybody.
Josh Wade.
Can you
Last
hear
but not
me?
least, we have Mr. Paris Jones.
Hello, everyone. Greetings from Texas, from Austin. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. We hope you're being safe out there. We know the weather is not the best out there. Now, David, you said once gay, always gay. That only works with white people.
No, it actually works with more than
That
just
only
white
works with
people.
white people because you can't be black. When you black, you try gay, you always gay. Only white people can experiment.
That's not true.
I'm serious. Only white people can. Okay, Hardy, I want your honest opinion. Do you agree only white people can experiment?
No, I don't.
What name a black person that you know? Name Ray Ray. If Ray Ray sleeps with somebody that's a male, Ray Ray's a gay.
I don't like Dennis Rodman is a prime example of someone who experimented, and we just accept him for who he is.
Who accepts him for who? Dennis Rodman is very questionable. Can we get somebody that's a little bit more relatable?
I think that Dennis
Labels are for. Go ahead, Paris.
I think that it's all of what you're exposed to because you can live in the inner city and keep it up under wraps, but you got some people who are raised in the suburbs. It's a little more freer once you're among our Caucasian brothers and sisters. If you're raised around more white people than black people, I would say.
So, Paris, since you feel that way, we do understand by knowing a little bit about your backstory. If you can kind of just share what your story is, because you, sir, were either engaged or married to a female recently.
Yes, I was.
Tell us a little bit Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was married for maybe like like 5 months or so. We got married in July of 2015. I pretty much thought that, I was finished with guys. I'm tired of getting my heart broken. I'm tired of dealing with the mess of the gay guys and of lies and the jacked and all the internet apps and everything. So basically what I thought was, okay, well, I want to try something different. I want to try something new. And also being a black man in the black church, it's a lot of pressure there when you're trying to go into ministry. So that's what also pushed me into marrying a woman as well. So, woo, and oh God, it was a test.
Can you expound on that a little bit? You said being in ministry, that's kind of what forced you or prompted you into being with a female versus being with a male?
Yes. It's kind of to say that the church had a lot to do with me marrying this young woman. I wanted to be a minister, and I come from an inclusive ministry in Atlanta for so long. I wanted to do what God wanted me to do, but unfortunately, that wasn't happening in the mainstream church. So I didn't want to be alone at one point, and then I wanted to be with someone, and she caught my eye. We got to be friends and everything, and the next thing you know, it went to engagement and then marriage. And it was something crazy, something crazy, I tell you.
No, you said, okay, so you said you kind of felt forced to do it because of the church, and I know we're having a little bit of hard time hearing you on our end. I don't know if it's your connection. I think it is your connection might be, so just kind of check that for me. But, so, to someone that's watching, and I guess to get to the core of it, do you feel that you made the best decision under the pressure of the church?
I felt at the time that I did until I started living the life with her. And, waking up to her every day, seeing her every day, it was like almost a culture shock, and it was something that I wasn't ready for. Maybe I should have given myself more time, but, being egged on by the church and having pressure telling you, oh, this is what God wants, this is what needs to happen. As a black man, who is gay, you want to fulfill your own needs, but you also want to fulfill what God has for you as well in the black church, especially when you have a calling over your life. So it was a lot of pressure. It was like I was coaxed into it in a way.
So we also have joining us Pastor Elliot Summerville. Hello, Pastor Elliot.
Hello, how are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing wonderful. We're talking with Paris right now. Paris is just sharing a little bit about his story, and I think this is a unique angle. He's talking about he was engaged, or he was married to a woman. He said, I think, for about 5 months. But he's talking about how the church played a role in pressuring him to make this decision. And I asked him, did he feel he made the best decision? And he said at the time he did, but he said until he started living the life. I want you to talk about living the life, and then I want Pastor to weigh in on his view of the situation from the church's point of view.
Okay, so we would go to church together, and the first few months it was awesome. I felt different, I felt like this is what I needed to do with my life. I felt like this is what God wanted me to do with my life. And until I started, going back and forth to church and, just not feeling whole, like I didn't feel like myself, I felt as if I was putting on a show. And, we would go to counseling. We went to counseling maybe the first or second month into the marriage, and You know, I had to get to know her. I didn't even know what a woman liked because this is the first woman I've ever dated, ever been with my whole life. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I was fighting myself, fighting what I love, trying to make the church happy, trying to make my family happy, and I was just literally tearing myself apart. And
So, while you were with her parents, did you still consider yourself gay? Did you still have thoughts, or were you emotionally tied to this female, or were you still the fight that you said, the struggle that you were in? Did you
I
feel
did.
like that was the struggle between you being who you really wanted to be versus who the church was making you out to be?
Right, right. You know, David, it was more so like I was basically fighting. I was fighting myself. Maybe within the third month of our marriage, like I said before, at the beginning, it felt natural. It felt new, and I think a lot of it also stemmed is because I was so scorned by other men and what they had done to me in the past, and lies. And I just was so tired of gay men. Period. I said it's got to be something better than this life that I'm living. It's got to be something better. So in my reality is I'm gay. I cannot overcome what people say you can be delivered from. This is who I am. This is who I am. I'm not going to fight who I am. So that's what the church wanted from me. They wanted me to fight who I was to make them look good, basically. So,
Well,
so they.
Pastor, if you can weigh on, I'm sure being a pastor, you um, been in that type of, maybe you've been in that situation on either side. Can you speak to that?
I would say that I've been in that kind of situation for many, many years, where it is that the church wants an individual to, for lack of a better word, denounce who they really are, and as a point of denouncing who they really are, or who they perceive their or what they perceive their reality to be, they would rather, and they're more invested, if I can use that, in women who are same gender loving folk. They're more invested in propagating the lie,
Mhm.
because so many times we would rather say, well, it's just an abomination. It's a sin. It's heresy before God. Whereas my affectional orientation, not to be confused with my sexual behavior, my affectional orientation is completely a gift from God. And by in large being a gift from God to be cherished and to be nurtured. Whereas I don't believe that for so long the church has had proper education and proper training to even deal with the question of what might be considered alternative affectional orientation.
Good. Okay, and from what I understand, Hardy, you
Yes.
are a minister as well. Something to add to what Pastor Elliot has said?
Absolutely. I think one of the main things as it relates to people's faith, as it relates to people's theology, it becomes very personal. One scripture that always comes to mind as it relates to when we start talking about this particular topic is Luke 1 and 37. And Luke 1 and 37 says, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." So when we ask the question, is it possible for someone to experience a great level of deliverance? Is it possible for someone to deny themselves or craving and or to make a conscious decision? That's only something that a person knows, but to say that our all-powerful, mighty God that we serve is not possible or not able to deliver someone, I wouldn't dare put my God in a box like that. But I do believe and I do subscribe to the thought that the fact of what is placed in the inside of you is what's inside of you. Am I making sense?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
But you, Paris Jones is not the only one on our panel who has been married to a female. Joshua, can you speak to your experience of being with a female and what is your current situation as far as relationship status?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, yes, I got married July 13th, 2005. And like Paris, I had gotten so tired of dating, and I started young, so I was pretty much wore out by my mid 20s of just dating guys in the relationships and in the church and having to be secret, and whether they were minister of music or a pastor or whatever. So I just got tired of it. And so I said, I had a best friend of 13 years, and she treated me well. She treated me like a friend. And she never, judged me on anything. And so we got married. Actually, we got engaged May 6th, July 13th. So it was pretty much 90 days, maybe, in between the two. And I felt like marrying my best friend, I didn't have to have any, secrets, or she knew that I had dated guys. She had met some of the guys. She had been to the gay clubs with me. So she was not, closed-minded to that. However, I was not sexually attracted to her. Had I had sex with women, yes, had sex with women prior to her, attracted to her. I loved her, but I didn't know that I needed to be in love with someone to be in a union with them. If I'm making that clear, I don't know. That it takes more than just loving someone. You need to really be in love with them to make that step. And I hadn't experienced that yet. And so technically, by law, we are still married. It's still in divorce court, but we are still married on paper. But I was with her for 9 months, and we never had any sexual act to happen between us for many reasons. And I don't feel that I was pressured by the church as much as I was tired of going through the same sex relationship, and it just kept failing one relationship after the next after the next. So I said, you know what? Hell, I'm gonna give it a try. And I threw my net on the other side and was just not pleased with what I drew back.
I want to, Josh, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Paris. Do you feel, looking back now, do you feel that you made the best decision based on pressures or other thoughts you were having at that time?
Based on that time, I feel like I made the right decision. I feel like I should have given it more time to learn her as a partner and not just as a friend. So I think that was my mistake. I didn't give us time to learn each other in a different way. I had always known her just as a good Judy. She was my good girlfriend, and that was just it. But I don't regret it because it taught me what I don't want.
Okay. So what you
and
do
I know now,
knowing that taught you what you don't want, would you, or even Paris, would either of you do it again?
No.
under no circumstance.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, sir. No.
No. No.
Go ahead, Paris.
And I would really have to question the voice of God if I heard him say do that again. I would really question that, and I would wonder, Lord, are you real? because you knew what happened the last time. You wouldn't put me through that again.
I
No.
myself would have to break it down to a science, if I may. Um, I am in the middle of a divorce right now myself, and my wife is actually from South Africa. Uh, so when it came down to the love making part, that was the first woman I've ever had sex with in my life, and it was one time, and I literally felt like I was about to faint. Not only because of that, she waited till I got drunk. She waited till I got drunk and took advantage of me.
One way,
Work,
Brother,
mother.
one way or another.
When we were done with our intimacy, gentlemen, we were done with our intimacy. She looked at me. She said, "Are you okay? What did I do?" I said, "Honey, you have no idea. You have destroyed me. I am damaged goods."
Oh my God.
Oh God. Oh, help us, Holy Ghost. Oh, walk heavy in here, God. Walk heavy, God, because this is funny to me.
Okay.
So, Pastor Elliot, if you
Yes.
can contain yourself enough to be able to weigh in on because I think there are a lot of people who have tried to do what they felt the church wanted them to do, who tried to do what their family wanted them to do, what society felt that they should do, and they end up in this broken place
Yeah.
that says, why did I do that? Why did I second guess myself? Because I know me. I know my desires. I know what I want, no matter what anybody else is saying to me. But the most prevalent voice, especially for those of us who are believers, I won't say who are Christian, those of us who are believers, we have that prevalent voice that says to us, that voice of conviction, if you will. What do you say to those men who have been in that position?
Well, that is the $1,000,000 question. And Paris, I'm praying for you because I know you need recovery after being damaged goods. But but I think what I say to the brothers that have been in that situation is that you really, really have to know the presence of God for yourself, the presence of God, the voice of God for yourself. One of the reasons why so many of us, and I say us because I can be counted in that number, it's a little known fact, about 3 months from my own wedding, and got right down to the last wire, 3 months, and decided, you know what, I'm going to end up cutting my wrists if I go through with this. I tried to do everything that I was told to do in my particular denomination. Of course, being in ministry, I was promised a career ministry and all of that, but none of that silence of this would-be terrible mistake that I'm making, because even though we can soberly cut covenant, if you will, it did not take away from the fact that what I was doing with her did not satisfy my longing to be with another man. And so, say to brothers that are going down the same path, rather than hearing the voice of acceptance so loudly, because all of us crave as human beings accepted, which is probably the most prominent reason, if we're very honest, why so many of our brothers and sisters stay closeted, because they want to feel the brunt of being ostracized by being different or being out. Get to the point where the voice of or the need to be accepted is silent, and the true voice of themselves and for their own lives, I think that that would be a paramount need in their lives.
Gotcha. So as we, end this segment or this Google Hangout for the evening, we want to give our audience some things that they can take away. There is, we'd like to know from all of you guys, first beginning with you, Hardy, do you think it's realistic for men who have sex with men to marry another female to no longer have those desires or urges to be with the same gender?
I don't think that is definitely realistic because, from my perspective, I look at relationships like this. In your relationships, whether they are same gender or whether they are heterosexual, whatever dynamic that or whatever label a person tends to use for their relationships, you're always going to find another individual more attractive and or more appealing. In any relationship, the ones that I know of and subscribes to, there's going to be that level of monogamy that is expected. So if you make a conscious decision to love a male or love a female, then within your covenant, you are expected to uphold that covenant until you take the necessary steps to and or end that covenant. Am I making sense? So if someone should subscribe and say they are a same gender loving male, but they should subscribe to invite a female into their life, they need to honor the decision that they have made from a legal standpoint and do the correct thing. And if they find out that that is not the correct thing for them, I mean, because realistically, we learn by trial and error, then they need to take the necessary steps to depart from that situation, but definitely uphold their commitment in that situation.
Gotcha. And Josh, what would you say you would want our viewers to know
As far as
the same subject, like men who have sex with men? Do you think it's realistic to still have urges even though you are in relationship with a female?
well, yeah, because I definitely had urges for guys, and this is telling way too much, but I mean we're being honest. Um, Especially if you've been versatile or more bottom to marry a female, I just feel it's really confusing um, for me to allow her to put on a strap and do me, and I get a concussion because her titties is hitting the back of my head. That's not of God. That's confusion. And so I still have those urges where I want a man to do me at some time. And so sometimes I come in wanting you to do me. I really don't want to do you. And so I need you to be able to do that. And when you're not capable of doing that physically, I just feel like it's a problem. And you will have those urges no matter what you do with that person. You're going to always have those urges, and it's always going to be there, whether you act on it or not. It will be there. Some people suppress it, and they tend to have sex with the person that they're with, especially if they're, heterosexual. They'll overindulge in it to try to kill those urges, but it's really there, and whether you cover it or not, you're still not getting rid of it. So I don't feel like it ever go away. You just always find a way to mask it or try to suppress it.
So, Paris, what does living your truth look like to you?
I had to basically sit to myself and think to myself, what is it that I want with my life? I'm 33 years old, and still I'm trying to figure out the blueprint to life. I basically had to understand that my truth is that I am a gay black male. And God loves me for who I am. And the only person that I really need to make happy besides God is my mother. If she approves of it, amen. You know, because most people's parents, some of them shun them away. Some people's parents don't even know about their lifestyle or how they're living. But my truth is, I'm no longer going to allow others to manipulate me or to string me on which direction they want me to go. I have to be a man. I'm still a man first, so I still have to take a man's steps in order, ask God to order my steps and also walk in the steps that he would want me to and not man. That's where I kind of got it confused.
So, Pastor Elliot, given everybody's input and their takeaways, what is your final word?
I think my takeaway is, of course, speaking to what Joshua said earlier, the fact that behavior is one thing, but the truth is an entirely different thing. And if we're going to really be who we were created to be, then we have to, I guess, amalgamate our lives and bring behavior congruent to who is our truth. So I think that my takeaway would be that I believe and that I know of as God would give it to me.
Gotcha. Well, we do appreciate Paris Jones out of Texas, Joshua Stovall, aka London Benton. We do appreciate Hardy Abbott as well as Pastor Elliot for joining the Google Hangout on this evening. We try to get these out to you all every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always view us at www.davidandjohnny.org, and you can comment and you can question by going to our YouTube page, David Johnny. We also have more relationship tips that are on our YouTube page by vlogs that we've done in the past to help you in whatever situation that you find yourself in regarding relationships. If you want to get in a relationship, you've never been in a relationship, and you're in a relationship right now and don't know what to do in your current situation, we have a video just for you. It doesn't matter your gender or your orientation. We have something for everybody. So again, we'd like to thank our panelists for joining us on this evening. And next week, we will be here again answering another question from you, our viewers. So we'd like to again say thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, so we're off the air. Baby, I want y'all to know.